This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Good morning. Hello, gentlemen. I like your embroidery. I like your pink accessory.
Yeah, I love the way our team coordinates.
Looking great, everyone. And I like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Hello.
Lady in brown.
That's right. I love it. All right, welcome
to. Looks like Ernesto de la Cruz. You ever see Coco?
No, but
I watch too much kids' movies, but yeah.
Well,
it's beautiful. You're a beautiful man.
Well, thank you.
Wow. I like it.
You
today.
too, Ruth.
Thanks, Ruth. Objection sustained. I like it. Welcome to DBL. As you might have heard, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy announced that he is going to be rolling the prompter and doing an impeachment inquiry into President Biden. Let's take a look.
House Republicans have uncovered serious and credible allegations into President Biden's conduct. Taken together, these allegations paint a picture of a culture of corruption. That's why today I am directing our House committee to open a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. This logical next step will give our committees the full power to gather all the facts and answers for the American public.
So during the press conference, McCarthy made a number of very specific accusations against President Biden, including that Biden made false statements about his son's business dealings and what he knew about them. Hunter Biden and his associates earned $20 million that was distributed to the Biden family. 150 transactions involving the Biden family business were flagged for suspicious activity by U.S. banks. Allegations that a Ukrainian businessman bribed the Biden family and that Biden used his official office to coordinate with Hunter's business partners. Now, the White House has responded saying, quote, House Republicans have been investigating the president for 9 months, and they've turned up no evidence of wrongdoing. DBL Nation, it's been all over, and we got to hear from you. Do you support this impeachment inquiry, yes or no? This is your turn to speak up. Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. What do you think all about this? Al, what do you think about this?
It goes back to what I said a couple of weeks ago. You know, when we have to remember, keep hold of this timeline here. We're about to see Trump involved in several, long trials that is going to bring out some very embarrassing evidence that is hard. These are direct witnesses saying things. There's documents, there's phone calls, whatever. It's going to look very bad. The Republicans have to do something to balance the media narrative. So what you do is that these allegations, whether they're true or not, almost doesn't matter. All you need is them out there. Jeff accuses me of something on Twitter, and he's got photos and pictures and video. Cool. Well, I'm going to accuse him of the same thing, even if I don't have any of those things.
So now
because it's balanced and we can go back and forth. I did this, but what about that?
Okay, one thing, we are having technical difficulties with the poll. I just wanted to let you all know what's going on there. But are we now using, I appreciate what you're saying, but are we now using impeachment as a weapon in political strategy when it used to be saved for the highest of crimes and misdemeanors?
I think you used to say that you were worried about this happening.
Absolutely. Tit for tat, right? And whatever that, I don't want to go there, but whatever that tat is, that will be the reverse.
I feel you, Jeffrey.
Absolutely.
I love television talk. Yeah. Sometimes I'm at home, I'm like, why? Oh, yeah, I could go ahead and say that. And finish up to say,
You can probably say it here, too.
I know, but it just sounds weird. All right, but anyway, so getting back to the whole thing, what Al is saying, it's a political tactic. Right? In my mind. I don't know. This is kind of over my head. I don't really know what's happening here, even though we have details. We've talked about it. I'm still a little confused. I think the American public is confused.
Sure.
But 61% of the American public thinks Biden was involved in some sense, right? I don't know if he is or not. Mine is 50-50 because I don't know.
Right.
But if you hammer something home in the media, it rings true. And they take advantage of the American government not knowing things like that, like doing your taxes. It should be simple. I make this much, and I got to pay you this much.
I have no idea.
But nobody knows how to do their taxes. Right. They make it difficult on purpose. There's that rumor about Richard Gere. Everybody knows it. We don't know if it's true or not, but everybody knows the rumor. So if the media hammers something home long enough, whether it be Trump or Biden, this is their tactics now. They're hoping you believe one or the other. Both might not be true, but we're hoping you believe one. And I'm talking about the Russian scandal, not any of his other things.
Appreciate that. Now, let me ask you guys this. If you're Kevin McCarthy, who, in my belief, was stuck because the MAGA Republicans were like, you better impeach, and he didn't want to.
Who do you see as the MAGA Republicans? Is
Marjorie
that like
Taylor Greenes, the Boeberts, the House Republicans that have said and stood up and sort of yelled out, the really aggressive ones that we sort of all on this panel agree are a bit fundamentalist, and on the left we don't like them either. I think they're just way too on the right. They have pushed Kevin McCarthy to do this. What do you think about having impeachment inquiries when you don't have evidence yet that Joe Biden did anything? Maybe Hunter did, but Joe Biden did anything, but starting an impeachment inquiry to then gather the evidence.
Let me jump in with this real fast. I'll ask you guys this question. Here's where I find it interesting. We did give a lot of money to Ukraine, right? And
yeah.
We're not even involved in the war. Right now it's like $75 billion.
Yeah.
I've heard that it's allocated up to $115 billion, but right now we're at $75 billion. And some of these inquiries were with Russian businessmen, okay? Why are we giving them that much money when they're not even part of NATO? Why are we so involved in this war? I see that. I get that might just be like, oh, we're going to hang our hat on this. But do you find it interesting at all that we're spending so much money over there?
I think I'm in your same boat, Jeff. And you don't want to be on television saying we don't know. But, like, we honestly could never understand the Cold War that's going on with Russia for, as long as we've been alive. I think that Ukraine, like the way it's located, just geographically,
on some oil
pipelines?
I
think it represents a different, position of strength for the United States that they don't want to give up. You also, almost like with at least the reason we were given for Vietnam, you don't want to have a dictator.
You don't want a stronghold in that area.
Taking over a sovereign country. It's a bad look for democracy.
Right.
And why weren't they part of NATO before all this if there was such a big piece of that?
Well, I think because there was
region?
massive corruption going on in that country.
So why are we so in support of them, but when there's a disaster here, everyone gets $700? I understand I'm getting into a conspiracy a little bit here, but it does raise a question.
And it's all mixed in with Ukraine. Even Trump's conversation was the reason he was impeached too. And now we have Biden with this. What I want to just say quickly is I think Hunter Biden overstepped. I really do. And I think he should be looked at. I don't think Joe Biden has the connections to that to be impeached from that.
I don't think it matters.
And if you don't agree with what Tori said, check out the video Corn Pop Joe where he gives a speech and tell me this guy's a criminal mastermind.
Right. Like, is he Sleepy Joe or a criminal mastermind?
Both can't be true.
Thank you.
Right.
Coming up on DBL, the search is over for a convicted killer who escaped a Pennsylvania prison. How did they finally catch up with him? And our interview with the ultimate foodie, Adam Richmond. He's sharing the secret to winning a challenge on Man versus Food.
Right.
They had
I was thinking of a rumor that people know but don't know.
Yeah, you're on.
I got you.
I always let you know.
I didn't say that.
No, you didn't.
I know.
I was just saying Ira is a sniper with the. So many people go 3, 2, and then Ira just kind of comes up. He should come like out of the bushes with just the camera.
He's wearing a mask.
Al, do you think he was born with the camera like he came out was like?
Yeah, but I like his style. It's more like.
I was part of it.
Yes.
Or I'll leave.
So Tori, what do you?
Ow!
I was gonna ask Tori, what does she think? I mean,
here.
because Jeff's point, I think is well taken. When you think about how long the rumor of just the woman that was burned by the McDonald's coffee, like how long that narrative was out there before people learned the truth.
The mouse at the palace?
Yes, and the mouse.
Another
at the
one?
Yes.
There's so many rumors. My Richard Gere thing, I'm not going to say in the next one.
Yeah.
But everyone knew what I was saying. My point was there are rumors out there that people don't know if they're true or not, but they know the rumors, and there's many.
And that's all they know.
Right.
When did
and
that
so,
start become enough for an impeachment inquiry? Is my question.
It's not. It doesn't.
'Cause that's crazy.
It doesn't matter. Just the accusation is enough. And I think that's what they're learning. I don't think most Americans are going to follow a 1.5-year trial from beginning to end. People will.
It's not even a trial.
But it's this whole. Some people will just read something, and that's probably the only thing they're ever going to read. People have real lives.
I hate when someone wants to I hate talking about this in my real life, but when someone reads a headline and they're like, how about Sleepy Joe does it? I'm like, do you know anything else besides that? Or do you want to continue this conversation? Is that you just read that on Twitter right before you got here, and that's all you're talking about?
Right.
Well,
You know
that's
what
why
I mean?
athletes get so mad at these sportscasters.
Same thing with
because
Trump, too.
you
I'm
can
saying
put a
both sides,
narrative
yeah.
out there.
Welcome back to DBL. There are a lot of folks in Pennsylvania right now that can breathe a big sigh of relief because convicted killer Danelo Cavalcante, who escaped from prison last month after he, I'm not joking, crab walked up the side of the walls, has been captured alive.
Like somebody's doing a little lookout there, too.
Yeah, for sure, Al. Police who led an intense 2-week manhunt for him posed with a picture with the killer, which is interesting, before leading him to a waiting van to take him to prison. It's like El Chapo. They also cut off the shirt he was wearing, but according to reports, he was found near a home where he was shot at after stealing a rifle from the garage. Police say that heat-seeking tech helped them nab the killer.
Predator.
Yeah, absolutely. And get this, locals got reverse 911 calls from authorities letting them know he had been caught. What do you think of them posing for a picture like it is El Chapo or like a marijuana seizure or a cocaine seizure?
You know what it is? It's good press. And if you are any organization, you're going to want good press. There's going to be a lot of bad press about you if you're the police or fire.
He got out of there.
Anything that's front facing, yes.
Right.
So you do want, it's almost like police posing with a big gun or marijuana seizure. You know, they stand in front of it saying, we're doing our job. So that's what I took from that. Looking at the bright side of this kind of bad situation, for the first time in a long time, I saw like a community come together. No one came out and said, this is a hoax. Everybody kind of did what they were told, protected their homes when they had the opportunities. The police stayed on it, and they caught somebody that really was dangerous. This wasn't an overstatement of it. It seems like he was a real dangerous criminal that was trying to penetrate people's homes. So I'm really glad that he's in custody, but it looks like a community came together, listened to what the cops said, stay in place, rather than like, my rights say I can go to the grocery store. Everybody listened, and now he's apprehended and you can move on with your life. I'm happy for it.
Yeah, I'm with Al.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fix the jail, though. Fix that little top where you can crab walk
Yeah,
out.
a little sunroof.
Little sunroof, yeah, fix that, right, yeah. All right, this next story happened just down the street, literally from where we're filming right now. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, this makes me furious, was kicked out of a musical on Sunday night. So security guards.
On Sunday.
Just wait, yeah. Security guards confronted Boebert, this is real footage, and her male companion, who was seated at the Beetlejuice musical right here in Denver, after patrons kept complaining they were causing a disturbance by vaping, singing, and recording the show with their cell phone. Now, once out of the theater, Boebert reportedly turned to the guards and said, "Do you know who I am? I'm on the board, and I will be contacting the mayor." Boebert tweeted about the whole thing, saying, quote, "It's true. I did thoroughly enjoy the amazing Beetlejuice at the Buell Theater, and I plead guilty to laughing and singing too loud."
Okay. Jeff.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Listen, this is no different, because it's politics, people are going to take other sides. This is no different than someone at a show making it about themselves. It's not about you. Sit down and enjoy the entertainment. This isn't about you or your position or your status in life. I don't care what it is. And then to top it off by saying, do you know who I am? Oh. That is the grossest thing a celebrity can do. I can't stand that. That's like people who aren't celebrities saying, big audition this week, big things coming.
Yeah.
Barf.
Yes.
Barf.
It's just, it's selfish on a deeper level
It
than I
is.
think people really take into account, because as a performer that knows it takes about 1.5 years to craft an hour act, I think about, when I started taking comedy really seriously, like 4 or 5 years into it, when I was like, I need to start really taking this seriously, I thought about people like you, Jeff, and like what it takes for like a married couple to get out of the house, get the babysitter there. Jeff's tired from work, and your wife's like, put your suit on. We're going, we're going out tonight. You're taking me out tonight. And it's like all the money that it takes. You go get dinner beforehand. All these things I've prepared as a comic or an actor to get ready to put on this show for you.
Yeah.
And what do we have? A drunken woman, like I've seen
allegedly
hundreds and hundreds of times. They all say the same thing. It's like they went to the same college. It's always, I guess I got kicked out for laughing. I guess you can't laugh in this comedy club, because that's what comedy clubs hate, is for people to laugh.
Yeah.
So, but it's throughout time. I've been all over the world doing stand-up. I've been to all 50 states doing stand-up, and everybody that's ever gotten kicked out from 2006 to 2023, it's because I was laughing too loud. That is a dead giveaway that you were hammered, vaping.
And out of control.
What an embarrassment on a Sunday.
Honestly, let me look at the camera and tell anyone in Colorado, anyone out here, just so you know, Boebert is a representative out here. She lost by 546 votes.
She's repping in these streets.
Please remember Adam Fersch. He is up for re-election with her. We'll be right back.
Take a look at this photo, described as the aftermath of a potted plant spontaneously combusting, leading to all this damage. Now, this post has been shared about 30,000 times, and the same warnings appearing in other posts across the internet as well. So can potted plants start a fire? We turn to the sources here to verify, in some instances, yes. We used Google Lens to find the photo appears to have originally been posted August 26th on the Facebook page for Russell Springs, Kentucky Fire and Rescue, saying the fire started in a tomato plant. This past spring, the Fairgrove, Missouri Fire Protection District shared these photos after stomping out a smoldering planter pot burning from the bottom up. And about a year ago, Loudoun County, Virginia's Fire and Rescue fought a barn fire they say started with the spontaneous combustion of a flower box. So how can this happen? The departments all say it's because potting soil is much more than dirt, and when the combination of shredded woods, moss, mulch, and styrofoam breaks down to compost, it can generate enough heat to self-ignite. It is rare, but much likelier in hot, sunny, dry conditions. Our firefighting sources share these tips to avoid becoming that rare case. Water potted plants regularly. Use clay pots when possible because they're better at containing fires. Do not use potting soil labeled for indoor use outside. That's because it can dry out faster. And dispose of any unused or old potting soil at the end of the season. Also remember, do not use a potted plant to try to extinguish flames like from a cigarette. You could wind up with an even smokier situation.
Welcome back to DBL. He is known for taking his love of a pizza pie to the extreme. Earlier we spoke with host and ultimate foodie, Adam Richmond. Take a look.
First bite into the carnivore is full of flavor. The basil in the sauce, the spices in the pepperoni, the milkiness of the mozzarella. I feel confident that Drew and I can take down this beast.
Wow.
Please welcome back to DBL, Adam Richmond, everybody!
Yeah. The meaty memories of it all. That's how we go.
The heartburn of it all. All right, Adam, we just saw you take on a massive pizza challenge, and you're known for going up against some of the toughest food tests. But what's something people do wrong in competition?
Oh my gosh, I haven't done a food challenge in so long. I think generally speaking, I think maybe taking too long in the beginning.
Like a pacing thing.
You really only have about 22 minutes before your stomach tells your brain, like, abort this mission, please eject from the cockpit. So I think that's some of it, but also I think that the restaurants sometimes do something wrong in that they'll focus on quantity rather than quality, or they'll make a spicy challenge where they'll just put like napalm on a tuna sandwich and we'll go, it's a challenge.
You are the ultimate foodie, but I've always wanted to ask somebody that does these challenges, there has to be something that you're like, Never again, sir. What is one food that you would never eat again?
There's many foods I don't like. I hate maraschino cherries. Yeah. Like, that's the best part about being able to talk about pepperoni pizza today, because something everyone loves, but those bright red maraschino cherries, the only thing that was kind of cool was that my grandma was super adept at tying the stem into a knot,
with their
which
tongue?
kind of explains why I have an aunt and an uncle as well as my mom.
This is super cool, man. You have a travel journal with every restaurant you visited since 1995. How many places are on that list, and how many different countries have you been in?
I wouldn't know, because I don't do it like a Zagat guide or the Michelin guide or something like that. It actually started as kind of a diary after I had my heart broken in college, and I was gonna write like cheesy black turtleneck like college breakup poetry, and I'm not really good at that. And so then I started just writing about my reflections. Oh, they're playing Van Morrison, they're making this Indonesian salad, they're making homemade ice cream or what have you, and my feelings kind of eked out, and I realized that as we explore Fork First, as we explore the world around us, that we have connections to places and different foods, different smells, different locations, different interactions bring out different sides of us. And so I just started doing it, and it became this kind of compendium of knowledge, and I remembered the foods better as I wrote down.
So instead of cheesy poetry, you just wrote down good places to get cheese.
Good one.
That's well done.
Clap.
I applaud you. I applaud you on that. That was a good one. You know,
thank you, Adam. You know how it's a good one because Tori's hating over there.
Yes.
Yeah, Tori's hating over there.
I was going to say Tori has one for every restaurant, but that's where she's been stood up for Bumble dates. That's just like, I remember that one.
No one showed up again.
Wow, that's a good thing I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt, because that was cold.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. You got some aloe? That was a burn. All right, Adam, in honor of National Pepperoni Pizza. Okay, Jay, thank you, everyone. Sierra and Taylor coming up. We had a special delivery to our studio, and while we eat, I want us to have you tell us, how have you teamed up with Hormel Pepperoni to celebrate as we munch?
Excellent. Well, you're doing the best way to celebrate is eating pepperoni pizza. And look, there's a reason why it is so universally loved. I mean, first of all, look at the pizza emoji on your phone. That doesn't have mushrooms on it, it has pepperoni. Oh, yeah. But the cool thing about this, and I think through Man vs. Food, I've always been championing American products, American restaurants. People don't realize that pepperoni is not Italian. Ooh. Pepperoni is an American product. It was created by Italian immigrants right here in the earliest parts of the 20th century in New York, but they were just making versions of salsiccia, sopressata, and it was really Hormel that created it in 1915 as we know it and popularized it. And pepperoni pizza is for everyone, and Hormel has kind of embraced that and created the first ever pepperoni pizza pop-up shop. And I'm a big sneakerhead, and so they do drops 1 p.m. every day from the 13th to the 20th at pepperonishop.com, and I will fully cop to this. I got a chance to shoot some content and commercials with them. I wanted to steal everything. So they've got functional stuff like this really cool lamp. I loved it. It was like mid-century American pepperoni. Yeah. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but then there's stuff like rims, like pepperoni rims, there's clothes, there's literally, I kid you not, I was gonna get these for my mom. They have pepperoni pizza earrings, there's a locket.
It's kind of campy.
Right? Just think of a cornhole board.
All right, Adam, thank you so much for stopping by. DBL Nation, don't miss out on your chance to check out the Hormel Pepperoni virtual pop-up shop before it closes on September 20th. Just visit pepperonishop.com, find all the cool merch. Thanks again, Adam. We'll be right back. Nice. Cool merch.
Man. Later, buddy.
Shout out, BK.
Thanks, man.
Ballot security is a major issue among voters. Elections officials have recently taken steps to strengthen that security, but some of those steps have created confusion. Verify viewer Mark texted us to ask whether rumors that 0 voting machines will be certified by Election Day in 2024 are true. So, Mark, let's verify. Our sources are the U.S. Election Assistance Commission, the Help America Vote Act, and the National Association of State Election Directors. Voting machines can be certified by a federal agency called the Election Assistance Commission. However, certification isn't required by federal law. States control the vast majority of election laws, even for presidential races. Many states require their voting machines to be certified by the EAC, but some don't. To be certified by the EAC, machines have to meet a set of standards called the Voluntary Voting System Guidelines and be approved by special testing labs. In recent years, the EAC has developed updated guidelines, primarily related to cybersecurity. That update appears to be the cause of the confusion. Starting November 15th of this year, all new voting machines have to meet the updated guidelines in order to get certified. But that doesn't mean machines approved under earlier guidelines are no longer certified. Any previously approved machines remain certified unless they are explicitly decertified. So we can verify, no, it's not true that 0 voting machines in the US will be certified before the next presidential election. Every state, even those that don't require EAC certification, has a procedure of its own for certifying or approving voting machines. Some even require additional testing beyond what the EAC does. And all states, regardless of their laws, are required to follow a few baseline federal regulations established in 2002, which mostly deal with basic machine functionality. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
All right, you ready?
Do it.
I think our show's a little different. We could say what we want and go deeper than other shows can.
Our chemistry is just so on.
Sometimes I'm a little mad at my co-host, Jeff.
My co-hosts have to trust that I'm gonna bring it and be 100% all the time.
There's 0 filter with us. Whether you love us or hate us, or you can't stop watching us.
DBL is on.
Uh-oh.
A new study shows there's a direct relation between how much you make and how happy you are. Let's connect the dots. A salary in the ballpark of $105,000 a year is enough to make the average person happy. That number is well above the median income for folks here in the U.S., which is about $70,000. It's important to note the number depends on where you live. But studies show it's not necessarily how much you make that determines how happy you are, but rather how you spend it. Researchers say people are usually a lot happier when they spend money on things like experiences and social connections instead of material goods. Of course, money isn't the only key to happiness. In fact, no matter how much money you make, scientists agree, what you use your money on is not as important as who you spend it with. And that is connecting the dots.
Welcome back. If you are going on any leaf-peeping road trips this fall, make sure your car is prepared for the drive. That's today's Auto Alert, sponsored by Ox Car Care. First up, colder weather will cause your tires to lose air quicker, so check your tires for air pressure and tread. Next, take a walk around your vehicle. Make sure all the headlights, the taillights, the brake lights, and the flashers are all working. Lastly, make sure your heat and defrosters work properly. Driving with a fogged-up window shield is not only unsafe, you also won't be able to see the pretty fall colors. Ox Car Care is dedicated to providing you with an amazing auto protection plan experience that works with your budget. So if you're looking for better car care, give them a call at 1-800-946-5040. Before we go, we do want to let you know we had some technical difficulties getting our poll results on the screen. The question was, do you support Biden's impeachment inquiry? People were still voting. 84% of you said no. 16% of you said yes.
100% of them said I had a great show today. I thought that was a weird poll we put up.
It's weird. I heard the opposite in my ear. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks,
Bye, guys.